Hello everybody and welcome to today's review of Malcolm and Marie, the new film directed by Sam Levinson, starring John David Washington and Zendaya. Malcolm is a famous movie director and Marie was an actress, but now she is a model and spends most of her time supporting her boyfriend Malcolm. The film starts off with the two of them returning home from a film premiere that seemed to do well. Malcolm is very excited, also drunk, but he is also very anxious to hear what the critics had to say about his new film. Meanwhile, Marie is sulking in the corner and something clearly seems to be bothering her. Now, at first you would think that this is a very minor thing, but once they get deeper into the issue, you realize that this is creating a conflict that is actually bigger than what it seems. Now, what I like about this script is that this is basically about two very flawed people. Like, seriously, nobody is perfect in this film. They both have their faults, but they both clearly need to reevaluate their relationship and see what they can do to try to salvage what they can. Otherwise, the relationship will fall apart, and that's what's at stake here. Some other good things that I like about this film is the cinematography. This film is shot beautifully in black and white. There were some artistic shots in this film that really knew how to convey the emotional state of these characters. And I also have to give credit to Sam Levinson, the director. He really knew how to use the space and how to use his actors in the space. It kind of made the film feel a little bit theatrical at times, but it was really good. But the one great thing about this film was Zendaya. Man, this girl can act. And she's only 24 years old. I haven't seen anyone that young display such a level of maturity since Jennifer Lawrence, and that was like a decade ago. I mean, man. Now I seriously need to watch Euphoria. I wish I could say the same about John David Washington, but honestly, I got the feeling that he didn't believe in everything that he was saying. Now, that might speak to the narcissism of his character, but I don't really think that he himself was really that invested in his role. There were a few scenes that he really got an opportunity to shine, and at times he was clearly the victor in some arguments, but then... But the biggest issue that I had with this film was, in fact, the writing. The writing was way too much on the nose. Not always, but a lot of the times. The film even fell into the Ryan Murphy trap, and what I mean by that is Ryan Murphy is the creator of some shows like Glee and American Horror Story, and he has a knack for kind of slipping in historical trivial facts within his script, or, you know, getting into these political statements that he desperately wants to showcase to everybody who watches his stuff. This film kind of fell into that trope. A lot of the times the characters are spewing out a lot of historical background about old famous Hollywood directors or actors. It is clearly targeted towards film industry people. I bet that Sam Levinson was really waiting for the right opportunity to express his opinion about Hollywood and its hypocrisies. A lot of the times though, the audience will not know what they're talking about. I mean, hell, I like to say those kind of things myself, but I am aware that not a lot of people will be in on it. And above all else, I would say that this did not have to be a full-length film. The film is clearly set up in a 3-act structure, which I really felt like it wasn't necessary. In the first act, you have one particular argument. It comes to an end, and it seems like everybody's happy. But then you get to the second act, somebody brings up something, and then another argument ensues, and you're thinking, why? Now you're just creating conflict just for the sake of conflict. It's one of those stereotypical lines you would probably hear a couple say, okay, now you just won an argument. That's pretty much how it felt. Like, you really didn't need to carry on, or you could have just laid out everything on the table at one time. You didn't really need a break from all of these things. It kind of slowed the film down, and I just felt like this film could have ended a lot sooner, or in fact this film would have worked just as well if it was a 20 to 30 minute short film, because the argument really didn't need to be stretched out so much. I mean, everything that is brought up has a point, but like I said, there are just too many things filled in between that really didn't need to be there. And lastly, when you get to the third act, I felt like it really fell apart. They are really being over the top and dramatic because it's the ending. I mean, you really need to heighten the suspense, but actually it kind of felt fake to me. I feel like this whole film was trying to pay homage to old style classic human dramas like Long Day's Journey into Night or Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but it's trying way too hard. Like, it has to come from like a real place, and I hate to use this word, but at the end of the day, it kind of lost its authenticity. I mean, the film does have its good qualities. It's shot well, it's directed well. Zendaya does a masterful job in this film. The dialogue was also very snappy, so it had good pacing. It just felt very overdrawn and overblown with the drama. Could have easily been a short film. It's like you're driving down the road and you could have taken a shortcut, but no, you decided to take the longer route, and by the end of the trip, you're exhausted. I mean, one thing that is worth noting is that this film was written, shot, and produced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Because they wrote this film in a short amount of time, but I still applaud them for doing this under the circumstances because they really had something good here. I felt like if they had spent more time on the script, they would have had something even greater. So I'm gonna give Malcolm and Marie a B-. Not a great film, but still a good one. Definitely worth the watch if you're sitting at home doing nothing and you're still in lockdown. Thank you for watching my video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to see you again next time.